Okay, so in this video, we're going to be looking at my wife's VW Beetle, 1968 Beetle. And the door hinge on the passenger side is really seizing up. So we're going to see what we can do to replace it, fix it, go from there. So to get ready here, I've pulled the Beetle up onto my makeshift jack stand to be able to work under it. This is the edge of the sidewalk and makes it a lot easier to work on things. And I've already prepped by taking off the running board because we're going to need access to these hinges right here to take out the pin, and that has to be done from the underside. So running board is off, and my little container with all the hardware I took out, and we're going to start by masking off the area underneath the hinge so we don't really ruin the paint job here. All right, so unfortunately I spent a long time trying to hammer out at these hinges and nothing's moving at all. So plan B, I'm going to open up the door, try to see if I can get the hinges unscrewed from the door frame here. All right, so here I've opened up the door and I'm trying to remove the hinges with the impact screwdriver. Ultimately, that didn't work very well. I ended up pulling the trim out, and then I used my impact power drill, and that, with some oil, eventually loosened up those 6 screws, and off goes the door. All right, the door finally came off. Here it is. Now we're going to check with these hinges up front which one is the problem. So this one, it moves pretty free, so that's not an issue. Bottom one is stuck, so there's our problem. So time to figure out how to replace the bottom hinge. Okay, side panel or the protective panel comes off. Now I'm drilling through the rivets because there's rivets that hold that hinge on to the door. Start with a smaller drill and move up as you keep going. Eventually knock those rivets out with a punch. This one got kind of stuck, so ended up drilling a little bit oversized to try to knock the burr out from the back. And there it goes, and eventually that one came out. All right, so the hinge has been drilled out, and I ended up screwing it in with some 1/4 stainless steel flush head screws. Let's see what it looks like. One at the top, 2 at the back. I've got locking nuts in behind. So I think we're ready to put this door back together. All right, so here we go. So first we're adhering back the moisture barrier onto the front of the onto the inside of the door. And then reattaching the interior panel. Make sure all those little clips are lined up with the little rubber covered holes. Putting back the strike plate. The window crank actually came off of a Jeep. They somehow fit the VWs, and they're a lot stronger than the original VWs. Now, I looked at the hinges. The top hinge had exposed metal, so I'm going to paint it with some rust-inhibiting paint. So masking off any excess areas before I do a quick sand, and then go ahead and put some rust-inhibiting paint on there. Take the masking off, let it dry a little bit, and then we're going to go work on the car itself. So I'm going to put that same rust-inhibiting paint on both of the openings where those hinges come out of. That's done. Then bring the door back, slide the hinges in, and screw them in. I put the molding in, the trim, screwed those hinges in lightly, and then checked the fit for the door here. And then I'm putting in the running board at the bottom. Door's good, back it out, and we're done.